So in the final video of this introduction series, we're going to handle deleting posts. So let's jump over to our code. So in our web.php file, let's create a new route here. So I'm just going to copy this one down again, just to save typing it all out. And this time, the HTTP verb of delete. And again, we're going to send this to /post with an ID. And we're going to go to our post controller, and we're going to create a new method in there called destroy. And again, for the name, let's call this destroy. Now again, you can name these whatever you like, but it's good to stick to the Laravel convention for delete of calling it destroy. So over in our post controller, down at the bottom, let's create a new public function, and we'll call this destroy. And again, this takes in the ID of the post we want to destroy. And this is an integer again, so we'll type in this to an int. And then we can call our DB facade again. And we're going to say the table is posts. And we want to get the post where the ID column is equal to the ID that we're passing in here. And then finally, we just call delete on the end. So as I mentioned in the introduction video, this table colon and column colon aren't actually in the code. My IDE is putting these in here to give me hints at what the method's expecting. So when I type the where here, it's letting me know that the first parameter, it's expecting a column from the table. Just remember, anything in the light gray here is not actually in the code. You don't need to type this out. And you can see that in the example code that you can download from penguindigital.co.uk. So finally, now we've actually deleted that post, let's return a redirect. So we can return a redirect. And again, we could pass a route in here like we did above to route post index. But what I'm going to do is use another helper method called back. And what this does is it simply returns a redirect back to the previous page, which in our case will be our post index page. So now let's create that delete button. So over in our index here, I'm just going to break this down onto a new line so it's easier to read. And this time we can't just route with a normal link. We actually have to put this in a form because we're going to be posting it. Laravel expects a post for the delete method. So let's create our form out here. And then inside of our form, we can do the action again. And like in our previous forms, we can use our route helper here. And we want to route to our posts.destroy. And that's the name that we gave this route. And as a second parameter, just like in our edit link, we need to pass in the post ID. So we can pass in the post ID. So Laravel knows which post it is we want to delete. And then finally for this form here, we need to put the method of post. And again, this is because browsers only really, and again, just like our edit method, most browsers only support post. So we have to send the method by post, but we can spoof the form to use delete. So Laravel understands where this needs to route to. As with all forms in Laravel, there's CSRF protection. So we need to use that blade directive of CSRF. And then we need to spoof this so we can use app method again. But this time we're going to send a delete request. And then finally, let's put a button on the end here. And the button is going to have a type of submit. And the button text, let's say delete. So let's jump over to the browser and give this a try. So let's refresh the page. And you can see now under each post, we have a delete button. So let's just delete this first one. And you can see now that has been deleted. So let's delete the second one and the third one. And finally, let's delete this one. So there we go. That's the final video in this introduction series. Hopefully it was slow enough for you to follow along. And it's introduced you slowly to some of the concepts of Laravel. Now we've only just scratched the surface of Laravel, but this is enough to get you going and building your first small application. So as you want to grow your knowledge of Laravel, now you've got the basics in place, check out my YouTube channel, which is over at youtube.com/c/Penguin Digital, where I have a lot more courses on Laravel. Now most of these are a little more advanced, but I tend to go a lot slower in some of them. So a good one to look at for your next project is the user login and management system. And that touches on a lot more areas of Laravel And at the end of it, you'll have a completely working user login system and also to manage those users. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you get updates on future videos, and you can also check out my other series. Also, as mentioned before, all the code for this series is available to download from penguindigital.co.uk. Links will be in the description. And also over on my website, there's a lot more video tutorials that aren't on YouTube, and also tutorials in a written format. If you prefer to read tutorials rather than always watching them, there's a number of good beginner and also advanced written tutorials on there, so be sure to check them out.